Hi everyone. So today we are going to be continuing with our series of archetypical energy of each sign, and today we are going to be doing Cancer. Oh my, I have to tell you, like more and more I'm going towards the this sign, like after Libra, when the Libra manifestation starts. I don't know, because so far the way I have looked into astrology was quite different. I always looked at astrology beginning with Aries and ending with Pisces. But then recently, while I was doing research, I came across with lot of like lot of writings and lot of books or ideas in general. It's like they're really talking about that Pisces being the beginning begins the zodiac cycle. So that really caught my interest. That's the reason I'm doing this whole series where Pisces is the first one and it's going towards Aries. And if you have not followed, I already explained that how in Libra the manifestation starts. From Libra onwards, all the energy is a conscious energy that we have to put effort into it in order to really activate those energy. Those energies are within us, but it needs a activation. It's not a very primal energy like before Libra. From Pisces to Scorpio is a very primal energy that is available to us, but from Libra, which is like it's a energy of a different timeline, and to access the timeline we need a certain sense of consciousness, we need a certain sense of understanding and enlightenment within us in order to really manifest those energy. And I never looked at astrology like that, like in the astrology that is mostly available to us. mm, is very, it's like almost like those energy are given to us. This is a, like I never look at astrology as a manifested energy. It almost felt like that each planet comes with a certain energy, and whenever we have those placement already, we are embodiment of those energy, whether it's a dormant or active, but we are already embodiment of this energy. That's the way I always understood astrology. But the more I'm understanding like that astrology is like how it is divided between primal and manifested energy, and how we are the co-creator of those energy, it's like it's really like eye-opening experience for me. And that's the reason I don't do I never did like astrological videos before. So that's the reason I started doing this. And I started doing this with archetypical energy of each sign, because I really thought that it's very important to understand that angle of astrology as well. So anyway, so we are doing this series, and today we are going to be doing Cancer. So it's very very interesting, like so bear with me, because this energy is so simple. At the same time, because of its simplicity, it's very hard to explain, because it's so, it's, yeah, that's the best way I can explain, because it's so simple. And whenever we feel those energy, it feels like, yeah, that's the way it should be. But it's so simple that it's very hard to articulate that simplicity. So I'm going to try my level best to do that. So Cancer is the third sign in our water element sign. So our zodiac cycle starts with Pisces and then goes to Scorpio, and now we are at Cancer. Pisces, the essence of Piscean energy is birth, birth from the chaos, birth from all thing possible, birth from ultimate unity. Scorpio is death. It's like a karmic death. It's like understanding. understanding the value of life. If we don't understand the value of life, and when I say life, that doesn't mean that life of human being, the essence of life, the life essence, if we don't understand the life essence, the death will overshadow our existence. That's what Scorpio is a karmic punishment. And now we are at the third, the ultimate sign of the water sign, which is Cancer. So whenever after from Libra, every sign, because it's a manifested energy, it is every sign. In order to manifest that energy, the core thing that we need to focus on is balance. Balance of opposition, balance of, and after from Libra, there is no sense of opposition. We don't access energy in duality. We access energy in comprehension of totality rather than duality. So before Libra, it is always like evil versus good, death versus life. But from Libra, because it's a beginning of, if please, if even if you're not in like even if you don't think that you are Libra, but still, please check that video that I've done for this series. It's really, that's the beginning of manifestation. That's kind of set up the whole tone. What is the meaning of relational positioning, relational understanding of our being? So, so Libra onwards, every sign that we're manifesting, whether it's a Virgo, whether it's a Leo, whether it's a Cancer, now next we are going to be doing Gemini, Taurus, and Aries, all are achieving a harmony, a balance between energies. Not duality, not opposition. They are not fighting against each other. They are coming to a totality, a holistic whole existence of multiple energies. So that is the very primal thing that we need to understand as we are going forward with the manifesting energy, because in this world nothing is given. I think we all understand that now, by now, that nothing is, we are not born with um we are born with everything, because Pisces is the sign of birth. And what is Pisces? Pisces is totality of everything. Pisces doesn't see duality, Pisces doesn't see difference, Pisces doesn't see separation, because in Pisces energy everything coexist harmonically. So that is what the birth energy is. So if we want to create anything, if we want to create new earth, if you want to create new society, if you want to create a new ascension in our life, the first thing that we have to understand is we need to shift our mentality from duality and opposition to coexistence and totality. And whenever we understand that, the main thing that really hold this thing together is the balance. That's what the Libra is, right in the middle of the cycle, because it really balanced the whole, like the entire zodiac cycle. So when we are coming to think about that, keep that in mind. We are talking about totality, we are talking about balance, and we are talking about harmony. So when we come to Cancer, so obviously this is the third sign of the water element. So is more prime elementary job is to balance the other two water sign have already produced or manifested or created, which is the energy of birth and energy of death from Scorpio. So Cancer main job for Cancerian energy is to understand birth and death at the same time. That's why Cancer is represented by Moon. So this is very, very good transition here. That's why Cancer is represented by Moon. Now, what is Moon? Okay, before we go into what is Moon, because that's going to tie up to what is Sun, which I did in Leo. Because from Libra no sign exists just solitary. Every sign is intertwined, every energy is so intertwined that it's very hard to explain just one sign in isolation, especially the sign from before and after the sign. It's very, so the energy is so intertwined. It's very important to delve into those energy in order to really understand the energy that we are talking about in present. So I'm going to talk about Sun a lot in order to talk about Cancerian and Moon energy. But before we get into what is Moon, let's understand the physical existence of Moon, how we experience Moon from Earth. We experience moon from earth in a different shades. Moon is the only planet that is constantly evolving, constantly changing. Not necessarily moon is changing, but the way we perceive moon is changing. Moon in the sky is not going full moon on crescent and all this thing, they then it's not changing shape, but it's changing shape into our perception. um so that's what moon is. Even the new moon is coming, new moon just happened when there was no moon in the sky, but there is the full potency of moon we can feel, right? So like the understand, so moon presents the, please take a moment and think about it, the physical phases of moon. That's going to give you a lot of information about cancerian energy and the moon energy and the sun energy, how sun energy is directly linked with all those phases. So we're going to get into all these things one by one. So first get into this, let's contemplate on this, the shapes of moon. So moon shapes changes, like it's almost like moon is the only planet up in the sky which feels like us human being, or not only just human being but any life on planet earth. Because it is almost like it has a beginning, and then it goes to different stages, then it dies, then it comes again, then it's almost like this cyclical cycle that we all go through in our life. So full moon, the new moon, is the beginning of the moon, and then moon goes through multiple, I think there is like a 12 different phases of moon, and then it comes to full moon, which is this, it's like a the it's like a 10th house full moon, total presence with its totality up in the sky, so bright that everybody can see. And then it goes back to new moon, which is like a beginning. So it goes through, so see how the moon, physical presence of moon, or the perception of physical presence of moon, embody the balance of birth and death, like Piscean and the Scorpio energy. So moon understands that death is not non-existence. When there is a new moon, when there is a no moon in the sky, does that mean that there is no moon? No. It There is a moon, there is the energy, and the we celebrate as we are collective of who appreciate natural existence, and who understand that we are nothing but nature, and our existence is not outside of natural realm, and we are affected by everything that is happening in the cosmos, everything that is happening in our natural surroundings. We are affected by it, we are built, we are made with it. So people, we not celebrate, but we, what is that word, ah what is that word that we, like different ceremony, or different acknowledgement that we give to different these moon phases. So new moon, in like, it has no physical existence. New moon doesn't have any physical existence that we can see, that we can perceive, that we can feel, not necessarily feel, but visually acknowledge. But new moon is one of the most strongest moon phase that we feel from the planet earth. So that's what moon is about. It understands that death is not non-existence. Death is as real and as accepted as birth. When there is no moon, it still holds all the qualities of the moon. It still holds all the power of the moon that has on earth, that has on earth us, that has on agriculture, that has on cultivation, harvestation, anything. So that is why Cancerian energy is signifies with the moon, because it understands the harmony between death and birth and death. That's why moon is also, you know moon is also a sign of, like, we say that moon is like, it's almost like archetypical energy of mother, archetypical energy of birth energy. Moon can give birth. That's why cancer is called, in zodiac sign, cancer is the archetypical energy of motherhood, cancerian energy. not necessarily motherhood, but more of a being a mother the moment you give birth. The moment we give birth, and it doesn't have to be physical birth, it can be any kind of birth that feels like, like whenever we experience birth energy, we are activating our cancerian, our moon energy within us. Moon energy and sun energy is always with us. I'm going to go deeper into that discussion in a minute, but moon energy is directly associated with birthing energy. And birthing energy, if you really think about it, let's go into this in discussion, because we are talking about cancer. So yeah, this is significant. So what is birthing energy? When I say that birthing energy, what does it mean by birthing energy if it is not physically physically giving birth? But even then, what is that what is the core energy behind lurking behind this birth energy is, if you really think about it, it's a total submission, at the same time total acceptance. Think about when human being or any other animal give birth, the mother goes through a tremendous risk to the point that they can lose their own life, and there are many incidents that that they lose their life to give birth. So just think about it. If we are asked what is more important than your life, we will say nothing. But in that moment of when we activate our birthing energy, then birthing energy becomes the life energy. So see how what I'm talking about? Birthing energy. In that moment, the mother, they prefer the moment any mother. I'm talking about. Let's talk physically. Like literal birthing. Any mother, they the moment they decide that they are gonna give birth, they are prioritizing birthing over life. That means what is happening there? That means they are acknowledging birth is equivalent to life. And then at the same time, birth is equivalent to death, because they are ready to risk their own life for life. So you see how it is, like that is what birthing energy, it is like a total submission. Because whenever in that moment, because that's what they, a lot of people panic, a lot of people, there's a lot of emotional turmoil goes into it. But once we submit to the higher energy, or to ourselves, or whatever that works, submit that, okay, there is no separation between birth and death. There is no separation between you and I. There is no separation between my offspring, my child, and between me. Then birthing becomes very natural. That's why, I don't know whether you are aware of it or not. Nowadays, the before people used to prefer, like not initially prefer used to prefer natural birth, and then it's become more of a surgical, like a c-section birth. And now people again going back to natural birth either, and they are also preferring in the water, because that's where the element of water, because when the baby is inside, we all have the aquatic memory. So when we come to this earth, if we get through this aquatic passage, it's very good for our psyche. I'm going to talk more about how moon is also linked with our psyche. But let's go, because there is, see how, you can see that whenever we get into this kind of energy, there is so many things happening. It's very hard to keep track of all these things that what we can discuss in this video, and so many things are popping up in my mind that can be associated with cancerian and moon energy. So we're talking about birthing energy. So the birthing energy is the culmination, is the point where the arrival of life and the departure of death happens at the same time. There is no difference between life and death. There is no, and that causes this total submission, total acceptance of this totality of existence, which is, like I said, Piscean birth, Scorpio death. So Cancer is the embodiment of these two energy. So that's why Cancer is the energy which can give birth. Yes, Pisces is the signification of birth energy, but Piscean energy is the totality of birth energy, is the essence of birth, but actual birth happens in the form of Cancerian energy, because it can materialize these two energy, because Piscean is so Neptunian, so out there, that it's very hard to, it takes a lot of time to really access those energy and understand those nuance of these subtleties, nuance of this totality of energy, and really bring those energy into action. So that's why from Piscean to Cancerian, think about it, how many zodiac sign we have come across to really get into the actual physical manifestation of birth energy is happening in Cancerian. That's why Cancerian called the mother of the zodiac, which can give birth. And when I say birthing energy, I'm going to repeat again, because it's not about just, not everybody wants to be a mother or can be a mother, and um, all these things. So it's not about mother, it's not just of a physical manifestation of an offspring, it's a birthing energy. Birthing energy is total submission, total understanding the duality. you know People, why people are going more from C-section to natural birth nowadays, and I'm truly believe that in upcoming time it's gonna be, I don't think people will do C-section anymore, because people really try, we are really trying to get into understanding of what this energy is trying to give us. We are not being, because we are so fearful of giving birth, so it's better to, okay, just give me anesthesia and operate, and I will not know anything, and the baby will be there. So there's a C-section was a reaction out of fear, but now we are getting over with the fear. We are really dealing with, we are really confronting the origin of fear. Fear comes with not acceptance, fear comes with not understanding something. But now we are saying that no, this is, no other animal does C-section and all that. We are part of we are no different than a deer, and like, yes, we are different because we are different species, but in the realm of natural existence, we are just another ecological species in our ecological system, in our ecosystem. So why we have to do all these kind of things, or why we cannot do natural things? That means we are not, that's why people understanding, a lot of, I have seen a lot of, like I have done a lot of research on, there is like, oh my god, this is gonna go on, because I'm kind of keep like grabbing different subject, no, anyway, so there is like, okay, I'm just going to touch upon a little bit. There is like a whole different, it's called Bhumi Sehat, I think. They have a multiple clinic all over the world, and what they really facilitate a midwife culture and giving birth naturally. And and they have a intensive amount of work and workshop they have done, and still do. It's like where they really talk about what is it that birth energy is, why most of the time we go for this kind of unnatural birth, because we are so fearful of death. But if we really understand this concept of life and death, and understand the natural way of bringing life into this into this realm, and like a surrender and acceptance, then birthing energy is a very fulfilling energy. So anyway, so that's there is like a lot of yeah, that's what they do. So anyway, so so Cancer is the birthing energy of the zodiac sign. So now we are getting to um now we are going to talk about how that Cancerian energy is also, like how moon and sun is so intertwined. It's the same idea, right? So we talked about sun when we talked about Leo, because that's the um because Leo is the first of all is ruled by sun god, and second of all is the um ultimate personification of ego. But here is the beauty of ego with sun, ego with Leo. I talked about it in Leo, but here I'm gonna talk it again. I'm gonna discuss this further. So we discuss about, look at moon and what is moon and physical appearance of moon to us. Same way, think about sun. Sun has an intense amount of energy. Sun has an energy that is like, it's never not it's like unperishable energy, unlimited energy. It has the power to inspire the whole universe. But think about sun. Sun cannot produce life by itself. Have you ever thought about this way? This is true, but we don't think about this way because our information is not given to us in this way. We always say sun is the origin of everything, sun can give life to everything. Yes, but sun doesn't produce because sun is so hot, there is no life in sun. Even if you put a plant and expose that plant to 24/7 sunlight, no dim light, it will burn itself. That plant will not grow. Imagine if we don't have night, if we have only 24/7 sun. I know that some of the, Norwegian area, there is 24/7 sun sometime, but it's not that bright. So there is a moon, but it's like a mellow moon or mellow sun. But also think about that, those region, how are those region, they are not that fertile region compared to our tropical region and all the other, down south. So anyway, so what I'm talking about is that sun is that, so this is how we understand ego. Because sun, Leo is the epitome of ego. So the way we understand ego is like me, I. That's what, how the ego is established in our society. But the sun ego is different. The sun ego is not, it is, yeah, it is about I. Sun doesn't change for anybody. Sun doesn't, it's just there up in the sky and giving light. It has no phases like moon. It's just there. But the way ego is that, yes, we are self. We are self to promote activation, promote inspiration, promote creativity. But not like the way we, okay, look at my work, look at this work. No, sun cannot create. There is no life in sun. So that's what actual ego is. Ego, I need to talk about this. Ego doesn't produce, actual ego, the sun related ego doesn't produce work for itself. It is so bright, it is so perfect in its being that just its mere being inspires others to create. That's what Leo energy is. Please, if you have time, please listen to those videos, because I have put a lot of energy, a lot of research and thought into it, and this is something different. So if you're interested, I feel like you can get a lot of different information about our astrological sign and how it is associated with us. So sun energy, sorry, so the sun energy is like that. It's like, I have immense amount of power, but I am not using it for my own benefit, for my own material gain or anything. I am just, because I don't need anything, I am completely fulfilled. I'm just gonna shine, and my power gonna be absorbed by others, so that they can uplift themselves, so that they can feel inspired, so that they can feel creative, so that they can create. That's what the healthy ego does. People who really inspire us, if you really see their work is epitome of empathy, epitome of understanding people, epitome of understanding. It's like, almost like, it's like a selfless, but they are not selfless, they are so self that they become selfless. It's the gift of being. because their being is so potent that they don't have to be. I hope you understand that wordings. Anyway, so now the moon comes. So what is moon now? Right? We talked about moon phase. Now we talked about what is moon. Where does moon gets its light? Moon doesn't have any light on its own. Moon gets a light from a reflected light from sun. So moon project sun's energy. So see, so sun does not do all the, like all the life that happens. It happens because of moon. I mean, yes, sun is necessary, of course, but moon is so necessary. Like moon is directly connected to water, tides. Water is the fundamental source for any life, whether it's a agriculture, whether it's a life in general. And then moon also, without moonlight, plant cannot grow. Without moonlight, no animal, including human, no species can live. Like we won't be able to live here. We won't be able to stay alive without moonlight. Without moon, without that calming energy, without, we mostly absorb the potency of sun, not during sun. We mostly absorb the potency of sun during moon, during night, with the reflected night light from the moon. That moon is reflecting from the sun. So now think about it, like the sun and moon is the same idea, is the idea of birth, idea of death of ego, the way we understand ego. From Libra, as I said, Libra, the manifestation starts from Libra. Everything happens in combination with um, conscious enlightenment. So since Libra, everything is taking place because it's a manifested energy to really understand self. And when the true understanding of self begins, the the feeding energy of ego, which is like selfish kind of understanding of ego, is diminishes. The ego, the way we are understanding ego, um in Leo and other, oh, hold on. This light, okay. So it's like, so when we go to Leo, the ego has no sense of that all consuming me energy. It has a total aura of being. So when the Cancer comes, that's why Cancer is ready to give birth, because now they know, Cancer know that if there is no sense of ego, and most of the time that sense of self and ego, uh, when it is when it is feeded by fear, feeded by self-centeredness, it always fear of destruction of self. That's why they want, those kind of ego wants to wants to preserve self, and that's why they focus all the energy to reserve that selfness. My food, my clothes, my earning, my house, my road, my country, because it's a constantly feeding that sense of fear of loss, sense of fear of losing. But when the Leo comes, Leo understand there is no sense of loss. We cannot lose ourselves because we are born with the gift of being. But in order to really activate, really enjoy that gift of being and not being completely chased by this ghost of fear and go into this dark side of ego, the Cancer is there. And Cancer is saying, all right, I'm going to reflect your light. But in order to, if you want me to reflect your light, because you cannot produce, you have light, you have lot of energy, but you cannot produce life because you are so hot. No energy can, no life can breathe in your heat. All right, I am gonna project your light up in the world that will give me some physical existence. Otherwise I will be just a dark in the dark night, nobody will know. So that will help me, but it's also give me, it will give life to people. But in order for you to really, like, it's like a negotiation happening between sun and moon. So moon is saying that yes, I can do that, but you need to understand the concept of change. Sun doesn't change, moon changes. So there's a negotiation happening between sun and moon is saying, okay, you have, okay, you have a tons of energy. I'm going to help you to really relay this energy to people, to other planet, so that there can, the plants can grow, the animal species can grow, all these things can grow. But you need to understand the concept of death. Sun understand a constant energy. Sun is a constant energy. Moon is a variable energy. So moon is saying to sun, you need to understand the changes. Not every day gonna be full moon. Someday I'm not gonna be even present in a luminous way in the sky. But that's the deal. If you really want to bring life to something, you need to understand the concept, the cycle of life and death is a one concept. Life and death is not two different concepts. Life begins where death begins. Life ends where death ends. It's not other way. It's not life begins where death ends. It's not the opposition. So we have to change our mindset from opposition energy to accepting and, like, what is that called, it's like combining singular energy. Instead, we need to change our mindset from opposition energy to singular energy. That's what Cancer is doing. Cancer is promoting the singular energy of birth, which consists of birth and death. So Cancer energy, because Cancer, we all have Cancer energy because we all have moon. And moon energy is so primal. In Vedic astrology, moon, they do the whole astrological birth chart based on moon. And in Vedic and ancient Egyptian also astrology, they say that when the moon and sun, when occupies the same house and same sign, that is the most peaceful combination one can have. But in order to cultivate that peace, one sun needs to understand the concept of death, concept of change, because sun is constant, moon is variable, and moon needs to understand the concept of light, the concept of seen, concept of being noticed, concept of being, just be, not being. That's why our mind, okay, so now all this understanding of sun and moon, now bring those understanding to our own level. So how this understanding of sun and moon is affecting our own physical health. So moon is associated with mind, moon is associated with our psyche. So in the psyche, which is, what is psyche? Psyche is something unseen, psyche is something subconscious. I mean, not subconscious, but we don't see psyche like we can see our hand, we can see our nose and eyes. It doesn't have a physical embodiment of their presence. So when we talk about psyche, when you talk about mind, we are talking about something very soft, almost like a software, tangible, but in a very, not in a physical way, but in a feeling way, like watery. So that's why moon is always associated in a popular astrology with something secrecy, something hidden. That's what, but moon, that is not, but moon is not hidden. Moon is not hidden. Moon is the only other planet outside of sun, which is constantly visible throughout the year. Yeah, new moon, we don't see it, but we still feel the presence of it is so potent. So moon is not unseen. That's the negotiation that sun and moon did. That moon needs to get used to with the being seen, being be itself, and sun needs to get used to with the changes, accept death. I think light is diminishing, no? It's becoming darker and darker. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm not gonna go and change. I'm just gonna keep continuing with this. It's a long video, I know, but you see how else I can explain in 2 words, It's not fair. I will not be just with the information, that I have gathered. So I have to. Okay. So that is the thing. So moon is our psyche, and moon, in our psyche, if we, our mind is so powerful. Our mind and psyche is everything, the way we experience our reality. So if we understand the concept of death and life in our psychic level, in our psyche, then can you imagine what kind of progress we can do? There will be no fear. Most of our fear, most, like almost, no, every fear, okay, cancel, not most, every fear is based on death energy. I'm not saying literal death, but death energy, losing something, losing something. Death is nothing but losing something. So our fear is based on that concept of losing. But if in your psyche, if we understand, if we accept that death and life as a singular idea, just imagine where our life will be. Most of the time we are not able to do something in life, that not able to do something, not able to go after something, not able to live a life that we dream about, is because of we are held by some sort of fear. If we conquer that fear by altering our psyche, by understanding death energy and birth energy, combining together as a singular idea, just imagine where our life will be. As we're approaching for new earth, I know many of you are aware of this. We are creating a new earth with new values. Then we need to understand, we need to train our psyche with these new values, which is fear is only a fear because we do not accept that idea as a acceptable idea of in our beings, in our day-to-day practice. But if we don't separate this, what is accepted, what is not accepted, and if you just interact with energy as they are, and then we can understand the singularity of everything that we are fighting against. So last but not the least, I'm gonna talk about, so Cancerian energy is the first time we are looking back, because when the death happens in Scorpio, we are just scared. We did not understand the death energy properly. So whenever Scorpio came in with the death energy, we just felt that it's a huge jolt, and we just felt that okay, something is like almost like a punishment came upon us. It's like so we did not accept Scorpio very warm-heartedly, because it's the first time introduction of death. And Scorpio is also, it's a ruled by Mars, so it was much more aggressive, and this is ruled by Moon, so that's why Moon doesn't have any enemy, because Moon really understand there is no such thing as fear. So when in astrology, Moon doesn't have any enemy. Moon is the only planet that can goes with any conjunction and still give an amazing result. So because of this, because Moon understand there is no fear there, because Moon has conquered the concept of the fear of death, and embody the death in to produce, to give birth, in conjunction with Sun. So it's a lot of things happening in Cancerian energy. But we need to think about what is the opposition, like not opposition, the polar axis. What is the other side of the Cancerian energy? Is a Capricorn. So if you remember in our Capricorn video, we talked about Capricorn as a, it's like a limitation, because Capricorn, that time, the first time they're building this is the cardinal sign of Earth. So they're building something for the first time. So there's a lot of fear that they cannot control their life and death. They cannot control weather, they cannot control other world, they cannot control time, they cannot control fate. So a lot of things came to Capricorn, and Capricorn created a bubble for themselves, from the society, where they believe that they try to believe that world is, we can control the world, our world, the man, the world of man, man-made world is controllable by man, which I mean man means us, all of us. Mm, so it's a very deductive process of reductive thought of existence. But Capricorn has to do that because they did not have any other tool to support something larger than that. But now we are came to Cancerian and Cancerian energy. So Capricorn deeply believe in destiny. Capricorn doesn't go high with big ideas. Capricorn believe with, okay, this is limitation, I'm gonna die, there are going to be earthquakes, so building going to collapse, there are going to be tsunamis, so all things going to be swept away, and I'm going to have a children. I need to i I need to build something so that they can feel secure. So Capricorn is all about driven by this fear of insecurity and fear of death. So now opposite of Capricorn is not opposite, I don't like to use that word opposite, because it's really, the world doesn't work in opposition. World is the ultimate place of harmony. We think it's opposition because we haven't changed our mindset to that. We need to think about, from opposition we need to go to the singular idea of singularity. Anyway, the on the other side of the axis, the cancer now now saying, okay buddy, you are so fearful, so let me conquer that fear. So how Cancer is conquering that fear? By going backward. Capricorn also go backward in the, what my forefather have done, I'm going to follow the same. Capricorn is all about tradition and culture, right? So the Cancer is also about tradition and culture, but Cancerian culture is all like a maternal instinctual culture. So in that path, when Cancer go back, it understand that we created this separation between life and death. That's why Capricorn is so fearful. Oh my god, we are going to die, we are going to die. Capricorn is driven by death. Ask any heavy Capricorn energy person, they will say they are mostly driven by fear of death. And sometimes that fear of death is so literal that they cannot even deny it. Most of the Capricorn I know, oh my god, they all are like, all the time they think about death a lot. But like the Cancer, so they are going backward in their maternal instinct, backward, and trying to gather knowledge from their ancestor. And from their ancestor, what answer they get, Cancer, is that more and more deeply, more and more Cancer go into the natural instinct. They find that there is no concept of death and life. It's all the singular idea. If we submit to this birth energy, if we submit to this, um like, that kind of separation only begins when you try to control, which is also signifies control, a big thing for Capricorn. Cancer, let go, let go, let go. That's why if you have a strong Cancer energy, and if we haven't learned all this thing, the initial energy of Cancer can be very anxious energy. You will see, you can spot a Cancer very easily, because Cancer energy is like, they have very anxious energy. Because sometimes they cannot, they get this maternal instinct, but they don't really completely comprehend it. So that can become a very anxious energy in the beginning of the Cancerian energy, when you get into Cancer energy without totally understanding the full potency of Cancer energy. So you see, so the Cancer and the Capricorn is almost like these two sitting on two axes, and kind of really telling us about what human destiny is. Capricorn giving us a picture of destiny that is full of fear. World gonna end. We are on our own. So we need to make a world on ourselves. We need to be self-reliant. We need to be hardworking. We need to follow the step, for footstep of our grandfather, like our forefathers, and those are the destiny that Capricorn is showing. Cancer, because it's a Capricorn, is an instinctual energy. Like, no, Capricorn is a primal energy. Like I said, until Scorpio, every energy is a primal energy. So that's why Capricorn is acting on fear-based primal energy, which is true. At the same time, Cancer is a manifested energy. So that's what they are talking about destiny. When Cancer talks about destiny, Cancer talks about birth. Cancer talks about combination of birth and death. Cancer talks about flow like a river. Cancer talks about, those things. See how these two axes are talking about the same thing, destiny, but their approach towards this have changed. Because the Capricorn is a primal energy. Most of our primal energy are fear-based energy. It's like almost like a flight or fight kind of energy. It's like almost, we don't have to think about it, it comes natural to us. But the manifested energy is the transmuted energy of the primal energy. So that's why they both are talking about destiny, but in a very different angle. But both are necessary though, in order to live in a material world. As we are doing the transition, as we are embodying more of our spiritual element, because we are spiritual being, So those kind of, it's like those energy, all energy is very important to maneuver through this journey that we are on. So anyway, I hope you get something out of it, and I know there are a lot of things I would like to talk about it, because there's so many things, underlying concept that are intertwined with this, but it's almost 1 hour already. So I think I'm gonna close it here, and next we are gonna do Gemini. It's gonna be very interesting. The tricksters of the zodiac. I don't know how I'm gonna. It's like, seriously, I'm telling you, it takes so much thinking, so much meditation to really articulate this kind of talk, because there is no linear channel. It's not like, and it's so fundamental at the same time. It's like forgotten knowledge that we need to bring back in our consciousness. Anyway, I hope you get something out of it. Talk to you later. Bye.